Welcome to the Value Meta. We are playing a super budget deck this week. We are playing Simic Fog Mill. So this deck is super budget. It only has 7 rares. Everything else is commons and uncommons. No mythics. It's an okay, fun, one-of-a-kind shot deck that you could build if you have these cards. I wouldn't highly recommend this as one to build with, but if you want to build a fun little mill deck, maybe get the achievement for milling out an opponent, this deck can totally do it. So, how does this deck function? Well, we are built around the interaction between Sphinx's tutelage and the water crystal. So, we'll start with the Sphinx's tutelage. It is 2 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever we draw a card, an opponent mills 2 cards. And if 2 non-land cards share a color, we repeat the process. So if they mill 2 blue cards, they mill again. We combine this with the water crystal, which is a legendary artifact for 2 and double blue, and it has blue spells cost 1 less to cast. And if an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many cards plus 4 instead. So this replaces the Sphinx's 2 with 6. So what will happen is if we draw a card with both of these out, Sphinx's tutelage will mill 6. If we can hit another 2 cards that share a color there, so like 2 blue or 2 white or whatever, we will then get that to repeat that over and over and over again. And we will literally one-shot mill an opponent. Now, you have to be very unlucky for it not to hit. You'll see how often it hits in the video. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have to stay alive. And the first thing we got is fogs. We have Root Snare, Fog, Haze of Pollen, and Commencement of Festivities. These all just do one thing. They prevent combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So basically, we want to buy time, use these to extend our life as much as possible, and go from there. Not going into too much detail there. Then we have a bunch of digging. So we have Ops and Considers to cantrip, draw cards. We have Treasure Cruise to mill to draw more cards. And we have Stock Up, which is a key card in basically any blue-based combo deck right now. All these cards basically do are trigger. So Stock Up is the dig. It lets us look at the top 5, put 2 into our hand. We want to use that to find pieces or answers. Treasure Cruise is like a big reload card for us. But the Ops and the Considers are twofold. We can use them to basically dig and find cards if we need them. But also, Sphinx's tutelage doesn't care if it's the first card we've drawn. So if we can draw a card in response, for example, if an opponent has tons of removal, if we have enough mana, we could play both cards and play a cantrip in response and mill an opponent out. With the last bit of this deck being the lands, this is where 4 of our wild cards are, the breeding pools. Now, you don't even need the breeding pools. You could swap them for another uncommon land or common land, dual land, whatever you want. So that's the deck. Let's see it in action. First match here with Simic Fog, and this hand has, it has multiple fogs and a Stock Up to dig. Opponent seems to be on white, so this could be a control deck, which would be one of our worst matchups if honest. Oh no, it's mono white control, so carrot cake. So these fogs will probably be relevant. The key thing to remember is, when you're playing this deck, don't prioritize the fogs every combat. Use them sparingly. Okay, an Enduring Innocence is going to draw them a lot of cards here. So like here, we could stop 1 damage, but now we'll just take it. Life is a resource. So let's Stock Up. There's the 2 cards for the combo. That's pretty sweet. Now, I am aware that this deck does run Get Lost, and Get Lost can take out enchantments. So we ideally probably want to run as much as possible. Also, I know they run exile effects like Cast Out and other things, so we want to effectively take our time here. We need to get up to, so here's the thing, the count's a bit off. We're going to Stock Up again. Right, let's take an Opt and an Opt. So we have 2 cantrips. So now, with the water crystal making things 1 cheaper, the total value we'll need is 4 for the crystal, 2 for the Sphinx, and 1 for the Opt. So all in all, we need to get to 7 lands. And with 2 fogs in hand, we are 1 land short here. So let's see if we can do it. Also, they are mono-colored, so the odds of us milling them out in 1 shot is really good. They're just digging, finding options. We'll take the damage here. We're down to 12. Okay, right. We're at 5 mana, so we still need 2 more here to get it done. Okay, they're just going straight to combat here. And I think it's time we start fogging, so let's use a root snare. Alright. We are prevented from taking any damage this turn. We don't care about them gaining life. The big thing is if they keep drawing cards and answers. Second main, there's a Sunblessed Healer. We will just opt to the bottom. Let's try to find lands. There's another land, that's good. They return the Carrot Cake with a kick, so they get another creature here. Okay. They draw a card. Play their next land, so they still have enough here. There's a second Sphinx's tutelage, so we'll shock in here. I'm going to fade the Sphinxes here to bait out removal here. We have enough to opt and hold up a fog if needed. But I'm 90% sure, yep. There's the Get Lost, so... Get Lost can't hit an enchantment, so we could throw down the Water Crystal if we want to. But if we just top deck another land here, we can go all into one combo. Right, there's another draw for them. Okay, another commencement of festivities, prevent all combat damage. Now we're in a bit of an awkward situation. So we could fog for another turn here, or we could go for the draw. There's the land, so let's go. Water Crystal. Now as long as the Sphinx's tutelage hits the board before they blow up the Water Crystal. Oh, they have something. We could be in trouble. Okay, we're just going to pass here. We want to wait till they attempt to remove it. Right, they go for the Get Lost. So in response, let's use the opt and hope we have enough here. Oh, put that to the bottom and draw. That'll trigger the Sphinx before this resolves. So there's the mill. And there's another mill. There's another mill. And we've milled their entire deck. Okay, that goes. Get Lost gives us some cards. They are dead on their draw step. They have Soul Petition, so I don't know why they didn't cast that. Maybe they didn't know the interaction and couldn't respond in time. But yeah, we get that one. Straight into our second match here, and we run into the mortal enemy of fog effects. So we see here that it's a cycling deck, and I instantly know that we're going to be in trouble here. Now obviously, if they're swinging in with big creatures, not a big deal. I'm actually going to fog early. However, the problem is, I'm going to play the Sphinxes on free. Here's the problem with this deck. They run the Monument to Endurance, and the Monument to Endurance can literally kick our butts because it's life loss, not damage. This was an old interaction previously with effects that would just drain you out and you'd be screwed. So there's a mill. We don't have anything there. We still need to buy time. We have 3 fogs, no cantrips. There's the monument. So now every turn they could drain us for free. They're just going to create treasure tokens here to just buy time. So because they have indirect damage here, we're on a clock. So we've got to just fog and hope we can be okay. Also, this deck runs Xenoflare, which is one huge burn spell that will just destroy us. There's a Treasure Cruise. Mill 2 again. We have 2 cards in the graveyard, so we actually can't Treasure Cruise right now because we will literally be untapped. And they drew the second monument. Cycle. So I don't think they realized that if they just started using the monuments to drain here, where they'd kill us on the next turn. So this one is basically over here. They're using every ability but the life loss, which is so weird to me because I'm like, you could just kill us straight away here. There's a third monument to endurance. So we are literally just dead now because what can happen is, we'll root snare. Cycle the other fog because we die in a turn. We just got to find something. Mill 1. Oh, there goes the Xenoflare. We just get a root snare here. They mill their 4th monument. Okay. Right, we just got to exile everything here and hope for a big draw. 1, 2, 3, and nah, we haven't got it, so we can concede. We die. They could have killed us earlier, but they messed up. Alright, 1.5 speed here for the last match. Now this looks a bit dodgy because we don't have green, but we do have double consider, which is basically surveil and draw, which is basically look at look at 2 cards basically to find what we want. Our opponent appears to be mulliganing. They go down to 6, so let's go, pass back. They open with a broker, so I'm going to respond with a consider. I don't need another blue source. There's an opt. Okay, we're not finding green, which is pretty scary. There's a Sphinx's tutelage, which could be pretty good, but we don't know what they're on yet because they are on green. Oh, they're a Simic too, so this could be like a Lumbra deck or a Scapeshift deck. In the end step, we'll just consider. They have something here. I'm just going to keep cantripping because I want to try and put stuff in the graveyard here. There's a water crystal, so I'm going to risk keeping that. There's a green source. We're going to throw out Sphinx's tutelage here, see what they respond with. They could have counter, they could have disenchant, but I'm just going to run it out and see what they have. They clearly are not familiar with it, they're reading it. Okay, we go to our opponent's turn. Venerated Rot Priest. Oh, this is toxic. Yep, so there's a second Rot Priest. Okay, we're going to mill 2 with the Sphinxes. Alright, there's the water crystal. See if this resolves. They could have spell pierce effects. But this deck could... I'm pretty sure at this point they can't currently kill us. So if they target... Well, they could kill us, and this is crazy, so hear me. If they play a land and cast 4 1-drop spells that target the Venerated Rot Priest here, with the double swing there, we're at 2 toxic. Oh, no, they just let it go. Okay, you might be dead here. So, mill 6, mill 6, mill 6. Yep, there goes their entire deck. So we still could die if they have 4... Well, no, they didn't have the 4th land, so we've pretty much got it there. And they were running enchantment removal, it appears. Yep, so that's how the deck runs. Milled all in one. Turn 4 mill. Past opponent. And they die to no draw. Good games.